Chronological Bible in a Year, day 90. I'm going to have to try not to preach a full sermon here. I love this section. We meet Gideon. Chapter 5 ended with us learning that Israel had 40 years of peace, but chapter 6 begins telling us the Israelites did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, so God handed them over to Midian for 7 years, and they oppressed Israel. We don't know when in that 40 years of peace the sin began, if it was sin 1, you're done, or for the last 20 years you've been sinning, time to remove the peace. We're not sure, but we know that at some point, even the Israelites turned from God. Gideon's father had built an altar to Baal and Asherah poles on their land. A Hebrew was building these items of worship to these idols. And so God said, enough is enough. The Midians came to punish them for their sin. But despite all of this, we learn that Gideon knew what had happened. An angel comes and he fears seeing the face of the angel. He doesn't have full knowledge. It's the face of God they need to fear, not the face of an angel. But Gideon has some knowledge. He remembers what God did, and we learn that remembrance does not mean worship. Knowledge does not mean faith. Gideon is then selected by God after some trial and error of Gideon's part of testing the Lord, but God enduring it. And he says, all right, Gideon, you are going to take on the Midianites, the Amalekites, the people from the east, and find your freedom. And Gideon managed to get 30,000 warriors. But God sees this army and says, if you win, you will take credit. That's too many. If any man has fear, send him away. And 2/3, 20,000 men leave. God looks at the 10,000 remaining, still too many. Take them to the creek. If they kneel and drink water like any sane person does, send them home. If they just lap at it like a dog, just like, keep them. So I would have gone home. I would have drank like a normal person. But 300 of that 10,000 remain. And God uses that 300 to get the Midianites in fear, and they start to kill themselves. And then as they run, God has the rest of the Israelites, by messengers from Gideon, come out, swarm them, and capture them. We're going to see how this ends tomorrow. But before we do, I want to ask us this question. Are there things where we substitute worship with mere remembrance? And are there times we substitute faith with knowledge? And how can we get that proper balance of faith and worship? Knowledge is not enough. Remembrance is not enough. Those are important, but not enough. How can we practice real, authentic faith? And how can that drive us to worship a real God? I'm looking forward to what comes next. But until then, God bless.